Hello and welcome to the Grianaig Creations Podcast. This is episode 75. My name is Kirsty and I'm coming to you from Paisley in Scotland. Where to start? So first of all, a kind of heads up at the start of this episode. I have my living room windows open and it's because the UK is currently in a heat wave and it is far too warm for me and quite a few people. It's only 24 degrees here today, which might seem like nothing, but we have been getting from 27 to 31 in some places in Scotland. And recently, like today is the cooler of the days. Like even just yesterday we were at 28 degrees. And having talked to some of my American friends, I know that 28 degrees might not sound like a lot because 28 degrees is 27 degrees is 82 Celsius. So I know a lot of people in the States might be going, oh, that's nothing. But a kind reminder that the UK does not have air conditioning in our homes. It does not exist here. We were a relatively cool country until, global warming, the climate crisis. We were a relatively cool country. And so you might want to check in with your UK friends and family, especially the Scots, because we were definitely a cool country. I was telling some friends the other night that when I was a teenager, any weather between 10 and 15 degrees we classed as summer because that was warm for us. So to be getting 28 degrees for a full solid week with no air conditioning, fans that are just circulating hot air, we are struggling. And I'm a natural redhead, so I can't really go out and enjoy the sun because I burn really quickly. Like I've got to wear factor 50 and some days I just don't want to put sun lotion on and feel all sticky and icky. So I will stay inside and be a recluse and a hermit because it's that or burn or be sticky and icky and have bugs and stuff stick to me, and I'm happy staying inside. But yeah, maybe check with your ginger friends and anyone from the UK because we are struggling. Anyway, all that to say, you're going to hear some background noise because the living room windows are open and we're about a street away from a main road and the noise travels up quite a bit. We also get cars speeding along our street, making absolute racket. So yeah, apologies, but it was record now or you don't get a podcast for another week because I go back to work on Monday. Another point to make at the start of this podcast is it's going to probably be shorter than normal because I don't have a lot to show off, and it is also going to be extremely sock heavy. I've been knitting socks like they're going out of fashion because I don't want to work on big pieces. I certainly don't want to work on any blankets right now, even though I've got blankets I need to finish. But yeah, socks are basically the only thing I want to work on just now because they're so small and they don't sit on me, they don't make me warmer. So yeah, I've got 3 finished pairs of socks to show off. Thought I had another one, but apparently not. So 3 finished pairs of socks to show off and 2 works in progress. And with that, we will just jump straight in. So the first pair you have seen a little bit of, and it's this pair which are knit in West Yorkshire spinners. And these are for my best friend. And I'm attempting to make her a pair of socks as often as I can and try different techniques to see what fit she prefers. So with her very first pair of socks that I made her, they were cuff down with a heel flap and gusset and a standard wedge toe that I kitchenered at the top. And these ones compare because I have done a pinpoint cast on and a circular toe, or a rounded toe, and then I've done the fish lips kiss heel, and that means I could do the Judy's Magic Bind Off, Judy's Stretchy Bind Off, whichever one that is, which is a lot stretchier than any stretchy cast on I know of, so it gives her a wee bit more room in the leg. So this will let me know what she thinks mostly about the heel and the toe. The cuff I'm not worried about because she didn't have any issues with the cuff for the cuff down socks I made her. The only issue could be is maybe she thinks they're too loose. So really curious to see what she thinks of the Fish Lips Kiss heel and the rounded toe. But yep, still don't know the name of the colourway for these West Yorkshire spinners, but I love a good West Yorkshire spinners or that type of workhorse yarn for socks. So Opal, Regia, trying to think of other ones off the top of my head and it's just not there. Yeah, it's not there. So I need to weave in the ends. I'm trying to do better. So I've woven in the one at the top for the cast off. I think that's also, I'd done that one because I was playing a massive game of yarn chicken, if I remember correctly. So I mostly just need to weave in these little bits. So that's pair number 1 done. Just need to weave in those toes. Pair number 2, another West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. This is the Kingfisher colourway. I done the same toe and same heel, but I made these shorties. Mostly just because it's summer and if you're gonna wear socks, you probably want as short as possible, like trainer socks, that kind of thing. So I've made her a pair of shorty socks. So again, these are for my best friend. And the pinhole cast on with a rounded toe, Fish Lips Kiss heel, and just another stretchy bind off. So there's not much to say about that. If anyone's curious, I do knit my socks with a 2.25mm needle. I tend to knit them on my Chalgoos, and I've got the Chalgoo with a longer cable for when I do the toe, whether that's casting on the toe or casting off the toe. So I change between these two all the time. These are like my absolute must-haves. See, now I noticed that. I don't always notice some of the noises. But yeah, these are my absolute must-haves, and I reckon, if I remember correctly, I actually have 2 of each of these because of how much I've been knitting socks in the past, and I normally always have more than one pair on the go at one time. So yeah, pair number 2. I don't know where to put my needles. Pair number 3 are for me, and because I haven't knit myself socks in a long time, I forgot how long my feet were, or more to the point, no, I always remember what size my feet are. I just forgot how long it takes to knit me a pair of socks. It's so long, like it's longer than my face. Let's actually compare the socks I make Kirsty to my socks. So yeah, that's lining up the heels, and you can see, let's tuck that yarn in, you can see the difference. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I'd forgotten how long I have to knit a sock for myself because I have UK 9 feet, which is long for the female sex. But yep, these are again knitting scraps. I was really starting to panic when I was doing the toe for the second one, so this is the second sock. I was really starting to panic when it came to the toe because I just wasn't sure if I was going to have enough of this grey yarn. I knew I had plenty of the Regia yarn. I think this... Was this a Regia? No, it's Opal. It's Opal because I remember I've got the ball band upstairs. I knew I had enough of the Opal yarn because I actually have this little nugget left over, which I think I'm going to give to a friend because she's looking for scraps for a blanket. So I've got this little nugget left, so I knew I was absolutely fine, even just eyeballing it, because I didn't weigh the yarn before I started knitting, but eyeballing it, I was like, yep, plenty for a pair of shorties, no bother whatsoever. So it was the grey that really had me panicked, so I kept the cuff to 10 rows, maybe 15, I think it's 10. Yep, kept the cuff to 10 rows, and then I knew I wanted to do all of the toe with the grey. So this is what it looks like on the blocker. This is not a shadow, it is actually that dark. It's darker than the rest of it. And they are mostly maybe like 1 or 2 rows off. But they are very almost matchy, like you wouldn't be able to tell unless you were super up close to be like, those don't match. They are very almost matchy, and that was not done on purpose, believe it or not. That was absolutely by coincidence. These are for me because I don't actually have that many pairs of shorty socks. I'm not wearing socks in the house at the moment because it's too warm, absolutely too warm. But if I go out, I quite like having a trainer sock on because it keeps my legs cool. Okay, next ones are work in progress. One, I'll show off the full thing that I just actually started and finished. No, I was going to say started and finished yesterday, but that's not 100% correct. I started the toe on Thursday night, and then I knit everything else yesterday. But again, shorty socks. So that's this one here. So again, just working from scraps. You've seen me use this yarn before, and I done a star toe cast on. I do that because, let's put it on a blocker, because I'm under the impression if it's a star toe there should be 5 points. This only has, why did I take the sock off and keep the sock, put the blocker back? Ugh, this heat is not good for me. So I'm under the impression that if it's a star toe there should be 5 points. This only has 4. So maybe I'm being a little bit stupid here, but how is a star toe only got 4 points? But I do like the way it looks. It's definitely a nicer rounded toe than the method I've been using. I don't know, I think it's going to take me wearing them both to see what really fits better. But yeah, not bad. I might rip back the cast off, which is going to be a pain because I did weave in the ends already, and actually reduce down a couple of stitches because I decided that instead of my normal 64 stitches I went up to 68 for some reason. And as you can even just see on the blocker, like this is actually really loose. It's loose on both sides. So when I put them on to try it, it's just as loose on my leg as it is on the blocker. So I might rip back and pull it in a wee bit. But yep, I got the toe done on Thursday night when I was at my parents', and then I knit this in the car, and then I knit this in the house. So yeah. Next one I can't actually 100% show off, and I'm really proud of this sock. I wish I could show it off, but it's not finished yet. it is actually going to be a pattern that I'm going to be releasing just on my blog. It's just going to be a wee free thing. Like, I'm not going to put it out on Ravelry or anything, so it's just going to be on my blog when it gets ready. And I'm not quite ready to show off the colour work. There's a hair on my arm, but I can show the rest of the sock. So I've made this in crazy colours that I absolutely adore. Damn, that's loud. Sorry. This is, again, more scrap yarn. This is scraps left over from Trellis, who is a indie dyer based in Greece. And this yarn was used to knit a sample for a designer. I got sent the yarn for free, I knit the garment and I sent the garment off. And I have some, not a lot, of leftovers for that yarn. So I just thought that these two yarns went really, really well together, and I had a thought that they would look good in colour work. Not realising that because the yarn was a fade set, that there was actually similar tones in this neon colour to the... Well, you can see it. You can see for yourself that there are similar tones in both yarns. And so the colour work doesn't really pop. And my original idea went out the window with this yarn. And I just went with something completely different, made it up as I went along, whatever I really felt comfortable with. And I do like the finished result. As far as I'm aware, this pattern isn't currently out there, but there is an extensive options of where to get your patterns these days. And so I need to do a wee bit more research to see if this design already exists. I hope not, given the time I've spent on it, and the fact that it did come out of my own thought process, but that doesn't mean to say someone else has already had that thought process and I've just not seen it. So I need to do a wee bit more research, but I do have the second sock started. So that's over here. And I've decided to do this one inverted compared to this one. So this is what the first one is, and the cuff is... Sorry, I just cut that bit out because you saw a wee bit too much of the sock. So cuff for sock 1, cuff for sock 2. So I'm inverting it. I've changed the colour round the other way. So this is the main colour for sock 1, with this is the contrast colour, but for the second sock this is going to be the main colour with this one as the contrast colour. So I think it's going to look really, really cool. They're going to be sister socks instead of matchy matchy. And I know not everyone's going to really want that, but I'm going to knit this up a couple of times because I want to see what it would look like toe up instead of cuff down. Yeah, I should have mentioned that actually. This was cuff down with a heel flap and gusset and an attempt at a rounded toe cuff down. Not sure if I'm overly happy with it or not, to be honest, but I love how it looks. Like, don't get me wrong, I love how it looks. It's just more the cast off seems a bit bulky compared to when you do it as a cast on. But yeah, just got to do the second one now, and I have the nuggets of yarn that I'm going to work with. Whew! I am hot. Doesn't help that because I'm recording I haven't got a fan on right now. And all the ice in my drink has melted. Stay hydrated, folks. Definitely stay hydrated in this weather. Okay, so as you know, it was Tour de Fleece, and Tour de Fleece is actually finished. I 100% totally got the wrong end of the stick, and I thought I had the rest of like this whole week that I was off to do more spinning. I even remember talking about it in either my podcast or my Tour de Fleece video. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. Tour de Fleece is finished. Absolutely 100% finished. And I only just sat down to work out my approximate meterage. And I am over the moon with what I've achieved. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about the yarn that I spun before Tour de Fleece. And I plied up the night before Tour de Fleece started. So this is not included. But I'm going to let you know the meterage I got anyway. So I had been spinning this yarn that was fibre that was dyed and gifted to me by Rosie of Pixel Atlantis. It was gifted to me as part of a yarn advent that we had both taken part in together to each other. And she asked would I want a sort of fibre, and I was just like yes, 100% yes. And she dyed up this fibre for me. And she said if I spin it and ply it a certain way, it should come out self-striping, which I thought was really awesome. And a bit of a challenge as well, to be honest, because I hadn't spun something with the intention of it being a self-striper. So this has been spun as a chain ply. So I know the meterage of the yarn. I don't know what that would be if you were to class it as something for Tour de Fleece. And I say that because I have two other yarns that were part of Tour de Fleece that are chain plies, so I need to work out the true Tour de Fleece meterage for that. But I'll explain that in the Tour de Fleece vlog, so I don't think anyone wants to know that information that's currently watching this vlog. If you do, apologies, it'll be on the other video. So this is a chain ply. I'm really over the moon with this yarn. I think it is stunning, and I genuinely can't wait to get this knit up into socks because I think it's going to just look really fantastic. So where on earth did I put my notepad? Ah, damn, you guys are on it. Alright, 2 seconds. We're going to alter the view for just a moment. So the Ashford Niddy Noddy has a circumference that will give you 1.5 metres. So my approximate meterage for this, which was 247 wraps on the Niddy Noddy, is approximately 370 metres. So I'm really, really happy with that. That's definitely a pair of socks, like quantity for a pair of socks. Now, on to the actual Tour de Fleece stuff. I have 3 that I spun as part of Tour de Fleece. This one is 100% my favourite. I am so proud of this spin because it just looks amazing. And I'm always envious of other people's spins because they always make it look so much better than mine. But I feel that I've done a really good job with this one. So this was the first one I spun, which was Undercover Otter in the spring colourway. 70% superwash merino, 30% nylon. I had 230 wraps, which equals 345 metres. Again, approximately. So I'm really, really happy with that. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. And then my second spin was this fibre from Ovis Yarns. I had 91 wraps because these were actually roll-agged, and I was attempting to do long draw. Not my favourite way of spinning. I struggled really, really hard with it. I definitely prefer short. Oh my goodness. That was a mixture between short and forward. So I definitely prefer short forward draw. But this I only got 91 wraps, which is 136 metres. Again, approximately. And then this was my last one, and I loved it as a single. And I don't know how I feel about it as a plied yarn, not gonna lie. So this is a 2-ply, all the other ones are chain ply, so that's 3. So this is only a 2-ply, and this was the Bits and Hobs bat that I had, and I had 364 wraps, which equals 546 meters. So it's a fair amount. I'm genuinely thinking of making a shawl with it, but it's very loosely plied, and I don't think I put enough twist in it, because even taking the single off the bobbin, it broke in quite a few places. So it's a very delicate yarn, let's put it that way. But overall, I'm really whappy. I only took 2 days off for the whole Tour de Fleece, and I didn't even follow the official rest days. Those were just days that I really couldn't be bothered, or I was too ill. So to have managed 3 full skeins worth of yarn and do 2 chain plies and 1 2-ply, I'm really over the moon with that. So now I just need to add my meterage into a spreadsheet for my team. I was part of the IVKN Wooligans this year, and so I need to add in my meterage to the team's total and see what we've got and see how far we spun. But again, I need to work out the true meterage, because I have the meterage of this skein here, but there's a complicated method that my dyslexic brain can't understand, where I take the meterage of this and then get the meterage of it as a single, because technically this yarn has gone through the spinning wheel orifice twice. So I need to get that meterage, and I've probably lost you all at this point, so I don't know. I'm going to ask for help from my team and say, like, I don't understand the math, can you help? But yeah, I'm going to restart the camera because my timer is almost out, and I'm just going to talk about some things about what I've been up to recently, and maybe some things that I've bought. And then also, when I get into post-production, I'm going to add in some footage from places I've been recently. So it'll be like 2 seconds for you, but for me, I've got to stop, restart, I'll take another drink, that kind of thing. So, and we're back, as I seem to say on all the podcasts where I have to do this. I've been off work the last week, and so I have had a fair amount of time on my hands, which kind of wishing I had next week off when it's due to rain a lot. Nobody normally ever says that, but given the heat. But it means that I've had the last week off to do whatever I want, to see my parents. That's really actually all I've done, is see my parents, which has been really nice. We went to Glasgow on Monday. We went for coffee. We done some shopping as well. So that was really nice to spend some time with them then. What did I do on Tuesday? Oh, it's not good when you get me to try and remember stuff. I know Scott was off Tuesday and Wednesday, I think. Oh, my brain is fried this week. Anyway, to the point, I was off yesterday as well, and I was down at my parents' on Thursday night. We had dinner, Scott and I had dinner with my parents on Thursday night, and then I stayed the night. He came back here because my mum, dad and I were planning on going down the coast on Friday. I nearly said Saturday, but that's today. I am so sorry that this is a really rambly episode. Like, I'm just not with it today. Like, seriously struggling. Anyway, my mum, dad and I were planning on going down the coast to Prestwick. And it's a very small town. You might have heard of it because they've got Prestwick Airport. So Scott and I went down for dinner. Scott came back home and I stayed the night. So I got time with my cats, which was lovely. Eli, bless her, she's so vocal when I see her. She's just like, meow, 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 meow. And just demanding all the pets and all the attention. Monty, on the other hand, never really liked me, which is a shame, because when we got him as a kitten, he was just glued to me. He would sleep here, and he would just, like, I litter trained him, I fed him his first lot of food. Me and him were inseparable, but when he grew up, he moved to, his whole attention just went to my mum, which is fine. If that's what he wants, that's fine. He lets me scritch him a lot more, so like give him scritches. Lets me do that a lot more now that I've moved out compared to when I lived under the same house as him. So anyway, I got time with the cats, which was really, really lovely. And then the next morning, my dad wasn't feeling 100%, so he stayed home and my mum and I headed down the coast. And the whole point of our trip was to go to a lovely yarn shop called Heilan Coo yarns. My friend Aileen has been there because her parents are in Prestwick, or that area. And she was just like, you've got to go, it's really, really nice. And I follow them on Instagram, you should too, because they're a really beautiful shop. And they have a fantastic selection of yarns, absolutely fantastic selection. She's got indie dyed, she's got a huge stock of sock yarns. Like, I was in sock yarn heaven yesterday. And I did treat myself to a couple of things. So the first ones were some opal minis. You know, if you've watched me for a while, you know that I get these as part of my crochet blanket. And whenever I see them, I can't not buy a couple because these are perfect for the blanket. So if anyone's got any of these and wants rid of them, hit me up, send me a message, and we can work out what you would want financially for them. Obviously, if you're like in the States, probably a different scenario because I'd have to pay a lot of money for shipping. But yeah, I have to get these when I get the chance to see them because they're actually, for me, they're really rare to find. So I got 4. So these are the colours. And then my big purchase, my splurge. So, a tale of woe before I show this. As you know from if you've seen my last podcast episode, I knitted a whole sweater in wool of the Andes, Knit Picks wool of the Andes, and when I tried it on, it was just too prickly for me. It did not agree with my skin. I have eczema on my back and I have quite sensitive skin. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of hurt to realise that I will not really get the chance to wear that unless I have a full sleeve t-shirt on. Which is going to look weird because it was 3/4 length sleeves. And it was upsetting because I want to try and have more natural yarns, more breed yarns, and not constantly use superwash merino. And when I got into Heilan Coo yarns, I was having a look around and I was having a squish, and this is 100% super fine lamb's wool. And what was really awesome is they had a sample knit up that was pre-blocking and post-blocking, and you can really feel the difference in this yarn. It's already extremely soft and just extremely luxurious. To me, it's extremely luxurious. And the difference in it blocking, it's like butter. It's absolutely like butter. It's just so beautiful, so soft, so scrumptious. So I bought this and I'm thinking it's going to be colour work on a yoke, and then I just need to find a yarn to pair it with. And because it's from the Wee County Crafts, Wee County Yarns, not Wee County Crafts. Because it's from Wee County Yarns, I might get, I don't know what colour. I genuinely don't know what colour. I don't want to go dark, like grey and black. I could go light grey, or I could just go a completely different colour. And I haven't even explained why I'm now talking about another colour. So if this is a colour work, I'm going to need something for the rest of the body and the sleeves. I don't want white. I don't want dark. So black is out of the question. Dark grey is definitely out of the question. I just don't know what colour to pair it with. But I'm thinking of just going with Wee County Crafts to get the main body colour and get it in the lamb's wool as well, because I swear it will probably be my most treasured garment when I knit it. I don't know what pattern it's going to be. I've got no idea. This is just going to go straight in my stash because I don't have the full thing that I need. I'm not going to go out and buy more just yet. But yeah, I love it. I seen it like almost instantly when I got in the shop, and then I was just like, you know what, sack it, I'm getting it. So yeah, I got it. So this is 7 lots of 20 grams, and that means I get 574 meters. And so Wee County Yarns is based in Scotland. Not 100% sure where, but she is based in Scotland. And you can find her on that website right there on the ball band. So for anyone that might not be able to read that, it is www.we-county-yarns.co.uk, and I'll put that in the show notes below, or the description box. I don't do show notes. Actually, that'll probably be like my what do you call it? The picture for this podcast. I don't know. I can't remember. Brain not functioning. So I took some footage that I'm probably going to load as a completely separate video and just have 2 short videos because I visited a second shop on the same day. So my friend Marcus, who you may or may not already know as Fiberpunk, he 100% recommends this place, and I've also started watching Woolly Witchcraft, which if you haven't, head over to Brogan's podcast. She's brilliant, another Glaswegian. She has recommended it as well. My mum's been to it. Like everyone in the area seems to have been to this shop bar me, and I've been meaning to go since they opened, but I just haven't. So we were coming back up the coast and we were passing it, and my mum was like, right, let's just go in. So I went to the Uri Mill and I got this. Of course I had to get more sock yarn. I mean, come on, it's me. So this is Regia. It's a 6-ply yarn, which is new to me. I think I have 1 6-ply yarn. And with a 6-ply yarn, it recommends a 3 to a 4 millimeter needle and hook for that matter. So I reckon these are going to knit up as a DK. Not 100% sure on that one. I might need to see if someone else has knit these. But yeah, I was drawn to the colour instantly, and the owner of the Uri Mill had this sock knit up and they just look brilliant. They just look so happy, and it's my kind of yarn. It's the yarn I go to, so this is what I class as my workhorse yarn. I think most knitters will refer to this as a workhorse yarn, not just me. And yeah, I really look forward to working with this. This is 150 grams, and that equals 375 meters. So it's more weight but less yardage because obviously it is a thicker yarn. So I might end up doing my first pair of DK weight socks. Never done a pair of DK before. But yeah, it's still classed as a lightweight yarn. Interesting. She did say I could knit it on 2.25, but it would just be really, really dense fabric. And I think she said the ones in the shop were knit on a 4? Don't quote me on that, I am probably wrong. But yes, the Uri Mill, I keep wanting to say the wee Uri Mill, but just because of the Wee County Crafts. The Uri Mill was a brilliant shop. I really, really loved it. The shop owner was extremely helpful. There was a sweater, a sample sweater knit and up on one of the shelves, and I fell in love with it. and I'm sure she said it was a West Yorkshire Spinners one, that the design hasn't quite come out yet, but it's coming out. But it's knit in West Yorkshire Spinners fleece. And having had a discussion with her, she knew that I wouldn't be able to knit that and wear it. And so she was saying, oh, you could use this one, you could use this one, which is really, really good. I don't think enough shop owners are like, oh, substitute it with this, substitute it with that. So that was really, really good, really, really helpful. And both shop owners, the Uri Mill and Fango Yarns, were both really, really kind in letting me record some footage and take some photos of their premises. So I will load those as 2 separate videos, so that they both get the recognition they deserve of being excellent yarn shops. And I hope to do this with more yarn shops going forward, just going in and getting like 2 or 3 minutes worth of footage and showing you what they offer. That's been a plan of mine for quite some time, and it's just been, obviously with the pandemic it's not been possible, and then with my anxiety as well, that's something to tread carefully on. So it's definitely been on my mind, because I really enjoyed showing you all Edinburgh Yarn Festival and Perth Festival of Yarn. So this is basically just the next step up to show some local yarn shops. So yeah, that was my Friday. It was amazing. I sat down on the waterfront. There was a beautiful breeze, so even though it was sunny and I had to put my factor 50 on, the breeze was amazing. I felt fantastic because I was wearing my Doc Martens, my mustard snag tights, and one of my other swing dresses. It was a good day. It was a really good day. And now it's Saturday and I'm back home, a little bit bored, not gonna lie, after yesterday. Ow! Oh. Ow. But yeah, I'm currently, last Saturday, Scott and I went up the Glenna for Brace, which, if you knew roughly where my house is, which I hope you don't, because that's kind of creepy, it's just that way. And I got very close to some Heilan Coos, and yes, we say Heilan, not Highland, even though that's how it's spelled, Highland cows. We just say Heilan Coos. Really, really close to them. Like, you're allowed to walk through this field where they are grazing. And it does give a warning that if there are calves, they can become quite aggressive. But there didn't appear to be any calves. So they're really, really passive. They had no care in the world that we were in their field. But fast forward a couple of days and my legs and at least one on my arm, I am covered in horsefly bites. And I am struggling to deal with them. And a lot of people have come to me saying, oh, kind of like, best of luck, those things are the worst thing ever. And they are not lying. I am really struggling. So far, touch wood, they're not infected or anything, but they're itchy AF. And the pharmacy gave me some cream to put on them. I keep putting like ice cubes on them to try and take the sting away. And I just really hope they heal up soon. So that's been a week. Like, I got bitten a week ago and I'm still having them. Still having to deal with them. Scott's got like 2 bites. I've got about 15 or something. I keep finding new ones that I didn't know anything about. So yeah, that was fun. Not. And I also figured out last week, literally a week ago today, that I cannot wear my rings in this weather. So if you're worried as to why there is no engagement ring on my finger, Scott and I are fine. My finger swole up so badly last week because of the heat and being out and doing exercise and the blood pumping through my body, that my finger swole up so badly and I could not for the life of me get either of my 2 rings off, and I panicked. I didn't keep trying to pull it off because I know that that's the worst thing you can do because it can make your finger swell even more. And so I asked on my Instagram, does anyone have any tips? And they're like, yeah, just kind of try and cool your body down, like either put it in ice or run it under cold water, raise it above your head and everything like that. And like on the walk back to the car, I was kind of like trying to have my hand up like this, which is really like an uncomfortable angle. I was trying to keep my hand elevated on the walk home, because we done about 5 miles that day, in the blistering heat, and so I was not surprised my fingers swelled up really badly. But yeah, I haven't even attempted to put my rings back on, because my fingers, even now, I can see that they are a bit swollen. So nobody panic, it's missing for a reason and it's not a bad one. I think that's me all caught up. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to edit the Tour de Fleece video. I'm going to edit the Heilan Coo yarns video. I'm going to edit the Uri Mill video. I'm going to put the fan back on. I might actually go sit in our freezer. I need to get more ice prepared, and I'm just going to have ice drink after ice drink after ice drink. I've got slush puppies, but they need about 4 hours in the freezer, and it's nearly 5:30. Wow. Jeez, oh. I go back to work next week. Scott's new job's going really well. He's enjoying it. He has become a care worker. He goes home to home, which is really interesting. So he's enjoying that. It's going really, really well. I don't think there's anything else for me to get you caught up on. So keep an eye out on the next lot of videos to come out. I'll probably stagger them either over a couple of weeks or over at least a couple of days, so I'm not just bombarding you with information. But yeah, I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy, and if you're in Scotland, still wearing your mask, because they're still mandated here. I hope you're all safe and cool. Drink plenty of water, because it's dangerously hot outside. And yeah, I'll try not to go on about the weather too much in future. We're due rain next week. Cannot wait. The minute it starts raining, I'm just going to go outside and be like, yeah, that's me. I can't believe I said this was going to be a short episode, and like I am 50 minutes in. I take back that statement of it being a short episode. Bye guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe.